Hello everybody, welcome back to Let's Play Ace Attorney Investigations, Miles Edgeworth. Last time we did some investigating as to what happened to this here prosecuting attorney. Today, we continue on. Here's the autopsy report. It is probate. Oh, wait, oh my god, I cannot read. It is probable that Mr. Rell survived for a short time after he was shot. However, Mr. Faraday died instantaneously from his stabbing. Interesting. Okay. It looks like we now know everything we need to know about this case, but I just want to make sure. Rell was able to survive. Faraday died instantaneously, and yet somehow ended up on top of him. I have a feeling that's going to be a contradiction. Are you sure we know everything? Of course, the incident began when Mr. Faraday attempted to get his revenge. The prosecutor went into a rage from being accused and tried to kill the defendant. But the defendant fought back and they ended up killing each other. It's all very clear and simple. There is absolutely no margin for doubt. Do you really believe that to be the truth? Ha! Are you saying that just because I figured out the truth before you, that you don't want to believe it's true? It's alright. If you disagree with my argument, then prove me wrong. Well, if there are any contradictions to be found, that is. Don't worry, I will. It's on and popping. Mr. Faraday's death was instantaneous, while Mr. Rell survived for a short time. From this, it is obvious Mr. Faraday died after he shot Mr. Rell. And Mr. Rell, while on the brink of death, stole Mr. Faraday's knife and stabbed him. Those are the facts of this case. Mr. Faraday's death was instantaneous, therefore he must have attacked first. Proving that logic to be false is probably the fastest way to show her that she's wrong. In that case, I should first look for any holes in her theory. Faraday's death was instantaneous, but Mr. Rell survived for a short time. From this, it is obvious Mr. Faraday died after he shot Mr. Rell. Logical. Mr. Rell, while on the brink of death, stole Mr. Faraday's knife and stabbed him. Those are the facts of this case. So you believe that the dying Mr. Rell stole the knife from Mr. Faraday. Mr. Rell became desperate as he did not want to die. Human beings can do amazing things when they are put to the test. So the two men struggled. And in the end, Mr. Rell was able to grab the knife and stab Mr. Faraday. The messy condition of this room is a testament to their struggle. Yes, my logic is perfectly sound. Can you really say that it's perfect? What are you insinuating? Nothing. However, I can't let what you said slide by without further inquiry. One must be clear and precise, so if you could append that statement to your testimony. Fine. They struggled and Mr. Rell used the last of his strength to counterattack Mr. Faraday. Sorry about the coughing there. About this statement. Mr. Rell used all of his remaining strength to take the knife and defend himself. One can easily see that they had a violent struggle. Of course, it's nothing compared to what my riding crop can do. Just want to compare the damage her crop can do with the state of this room. Furthermore, all the plastic bags on the floor in this room were scattered there due to the fight. Is there anything else that I can explain for you? No, that will be fine. They struggled. However, we have a testimony here. If the two men were fighting, their struggle would have surely caused quite a bit of noise. However, Detective Gumshoe testified that he heard absolutely nothing. Ha! You place too much faith in that detective's testimony, you know. But for the sake of argument, let's say there wasn't a fight. How then did Mr. Rell get his hands on the knife? Mr. Faraday's bag was sitting right there in lobby number 2. It is not hard to imagine that perhaps Mr. Rell saw a chance and took it out at some point. So, what you're saying is this. Mr. Rell took a chance when he saw the opportunity and took the knife from the bag. And then Mr. Faraday shot Mr. Rell after being stabbed? Isn't there something strange in Francisca's statement just now? Wait, something doesn't add up. Oh, really? It's simply not possible for Mr. Faraday to have shot Mr. Rell after being stabbed. Yeah. Because he died instantaneously. Yeah. I had to double check to make sure. According to the coroner's report, Mr. Faraday died instantaneously, meaning that he died immediately upon being stabbed by the knife. Ergo, he cannot possibly have fired the gun after that. Oh, you got me. But of course. Well then, if the report is correct, then there is only one correct explanation. If we suppose that Mr. Rell attacked first, then Mr. Faraday, who died instantaneously, would have been unable to kill Mr. Rell. Therefore, Mr. Rell must have stabbed Mr. Faraday after he was shot. Then they both died. That is the only explanation that makes logical sense. Negating your opponent's ideas in order to prove your own theory. I see you've been studying, Francisca. I just wanted to explain it to you as simply as possible, before you foolishly propose a foolish theory that only a foolish fool like you could. How naive of you to believe that only your opinions are valid, and still expect to discover the truth that the crime scene offers you. Francisca, you've still got a ways to go. What are you talking about? Are you saying there's a flaw in my logic? Mr. Faraday died instantly, and the fact that he did is what gives rise to the contradiction in this scene. The contradiction here in this crime scene is the order the bodies fell. Yeah. Let me get this straight. What you are arguing is this. Mr. Faraday took the gun from his evidence bag and shot Mr. Rell. Then the wounded Mr. Rell found an opportunity to take the knife and strike back. Upon being stabbed, Mr. Faraday died on the spot, and Mr. Rell died thereafter. If that's the case, then how do you explain this? Take a good look at the order in which their bodies are piled. No! Mr. Faraday's body is lying on top of Mr. Rell's. Therefore, Mr. Rell must have died before Mr. Faraday. Impossible! Yes, I agree that it seems strange no matter what angle you approach it from. Which means that the real mystery behind this crime scene that we must solve is... No, not so fast, Miles Edgeworth. What now? I simply think that you ought to think a bit more outside the box. And that it's even clearer now that the incident started with Mr. Faraday's murderous intent. She sure bounced back quickly. An explanation won't be enough this time. It's going to take some very decisive evidence to prove her wrong. What happened? Part 2. It was just chance that Mr. Faraday's body fell on top of Mr. Rell's. How? In that way. The two bodies fell into a pile, which indicates that they attacked each other at the same time. It really doesn't matter in the slightest that they fell in the opposite order. Just know that Francisca's explanation isn't absolutely correct. All I have to do is find a hole in her logic. Once I do, I can then present her with this evidence that proves the contradiction. What the fuck is her logic? That doesn't make sense. They attacked each other at the same time, okay. So what? Like, he just bled out while another dude was, like, lying on top of him? Like, ugh. I am too weak to do anything. Oh, but at the same time... No, because he wasn't shot at point-blank range. So yeah, no. I can present that, but I just want to make sure. What do you mean by they attacked each other at the same time? I assume Mr. Faraday had the two different weapons in his hands. He made to attack Mr. Rel while holding both the knife and revolver. And then, after Mr. Faraday fired the gun, Mr. Rel grabbed the knife as he was falling and stabbed Mr. Faraday. That is how Mr. Rel wound up on the bottom with Mr. Faraday on top. At close range, that is more than possible. Yes, it's possible, but... Well, if you have any other ideas, then show me what you've got. Oh, I will. And to that extent, I'd like for you to append what you just said to your testimony. I don't see any point to that, but as you'll please. In fact, indicates that they attacked each other at the same time from close range. I ain't even got to press on that there, buddy. So you believe they killed each other at close range. Sorry, but that's impossible. Just as it is written in the crime scene notes, the firing of the handgun did not leave a gunpowder burn on Mr. Rel's clothes. Therefore, Mr. Rel and the gun must have been separated by a distance of at least 2 or 3 yards. Yes, this is by far the biggest contradiction. The two bodies are piled up on each other. The gun was fired from a distance. And with there being no chance that Mr. Rel moved that far after being shot, that leaves only one possible explanation. What a completely foolish line of foolishly thought... No, oh my god, why can I not read today? What a completely foolish line of foolish thought from a thoroughly foolish fool. If I'm not right, then who was it that made the first move with the intent to kill, huh? Who? The person that attacked first with murderous intent, that would be... Well, it can't be him, because then he wouldn't have had a chance to counterattack. And we've just proven why it can't be him. So it's... There was a third party involved? Here in this room, contradictions appear no matter which man we claim attacked first. Thus, there can only be one explanation. There was a third person here. It was that third person who killed both Mr. Faraday and Mr. Rel, and set their bodies up to make it look like a double murder. That third person is the real culprit. Miles Edgeworth, there's just one thing you're missing. Evidence, correct? Exactly. Everything you've said up until now is nothing but a story played out in your head. However, this is where the real test begins. Can you prove that there was a third person involved in this crime? Of course. If the third person was truly here, that fact would resolve the glaring contradiction. The proof that this has all been a setup made to look like they killed each other. I'll present it, and lay bare the final piece of the puzzle that's not yet in place. What is the piece of evidence that proves there was a third person involved? Would it be the positioning of the bodies? Like, one was dragged on top of the other? Because I'm not seeing what anything here would have to do with that. I'll give it a shot? This is that very evidence. No, it doesn't. No, it isn't. It's not the very evidence. Can I just pick the third picture? Oh my god. Okay. Fine. How? So we don't have decisive evidence. Should resolve itself. There truly was a third person here. I mean, his blood is on it, but it could have just been seeping there. Seems Mr. Faraday was in the habit of using a very nice fountain pen. The opposite of me, I don't get these things at all. Hell, I think the pencil behind your ear suits you just fine. Really think so, pal? Man, I knew it was really worth something. That wasn't exactly a compliment, detective. Looks like a quality nib. Hey, let me test it out, pal. Ooh, this is really... Heck, I got ink all over my hand. Detective Gumshoe. Don't ever play with the evidence like that again. Or is it the fact that he's left-handed, but the gun was found in his right hand? Because you're not gonna have, like, that good of a shot? Present it. Fuck you! Okay. Okay, so if it's not this, and it's not this, and none of these other ones seem appropriate, the only thing left I can think of is the bag. The fact that it has his blood on it, but like I said, it could have just seeped on there. Oh, but is it because it's like, it was on the floor, but there wasn't a struggle? I guess so. The gun in Mr. Faraday's hand and the plastic bag with his blood on it. These two items point to the presence of a third person. How so? Recall Detective Gumshoe's testimony. I was in the hallway the whole time, but I didn't hear a single peep of struggle. If there wasn't a struggle in this room, then there shouldn't be any plastic bags on the ground, meaning that someone else must have deliberately scattered them around. Do you not see the possibility in this? Disregarding the gun for the moment, there's a high probability of blood splatter when a knife is used on a person. If the culprit held the knife with a plastic bag around it, they could use the bag to catch any blood splatter from when they withdrew the knife. Oh. Then by spreading a few more plastic bags around, mixing the bloody one in with them, and arranging the room to make it look like there was a struggle between the two, they were able to conceal their presence. Ah! Looks like still got a long way to go in this investigation. Yes. Objection. Who? Whose voice was that? What the heck's up with you, pal? Mr. Bad, I advise you to place Detective Gumshoe under arrest. What? What's the meaning of this? Ha! Looks like you're not man enough to discipline your own subordinates. Don't you dare! The detective claims he was there, standing in front of the door the entire time. But I have it on good authority that it was all a giant lie. Miss Yu, I ask that you please explain that last statement. I'll let His Honor explain it himself. I saw it with my own eyes, I tell you. During the recess, there was a period of time when there was no one in the hallway. What? See, Mr. Bad? So I ask you, why would a detective who was supposedly doing his job the whole time want to fabricate such a lie? Gumshoe, did you kill Faraday? No! Of course not, sir. It would appear that the one who set this whole crime scene up is that detective, which basically renders his testimony a complete lie and morally invalid. It looks like your perfect logic has just come tumbling down, Miles. Ugh. I was in the hallway the whole time, but I didn't hear a single peep of a struggle. Was that statement really a lie? Detective Gumshoe, you're now a Detective Gumshoe, you're now a suspect in the murder of 2 men. Now spit out the truth or so help me. I haven't lied to anyone, sir. Honest. I really was there. I was in the hallway the whole time. Detective Bad, I ask that you please do not act without my permission. After all, I'm the one that is heading up this investigation, am I not? Don't talk like you know what's going on, boy. All I want is for this investigation to run perfectly. Perfection is the only wish of a disciple of Von Karma, after all. Therefore, before you take Detective Gumshoe into custody, I'd like to set the record straight on something. And what's that? What should I ask Detective Gumshoe about? No motive. He claims he was in the hallway, so... The state of the hallway. Detective Gumshoe, I take it that no one else was in that hallway at any time, correct? Huh? Of course not, pal. You're being awfully defensive. Might you be hiding something from me? Watch your mouth, pal. Can't go around saying stuff like that about me without any evidence. Suppose you're right, I have no evidence at this point. Miles Edgeworth, how can you be losing a battle of wits with this detective? You're a disgrace. Gurk? Maybe I should ask about something else. Okay, well then, why wasn't he in the hallway? Detective Gumshoe, why were you missing from the hallway for a span of time? Look, pal, like I said, I was there the whole time, okay? But there was testimony against you that... Miles Edgeworth, why are you wasting our time with a completely useless question? The only logical reason as to why he was absent is that he was busy committing the crime. Anyone who says otherwise is a fool. So why would I ask him about the motive for the murders? I suppose the one thing I'd like clarified, okay, is Detective Gumshoe's motive for committing this crime. Okay, they were implying that we were asking him, but he's theoretically asking this to Franziska and Bad, which makes sense if you're asking them, but you were talking to Gumshoe. I'm confused. Motive, huh? Gumshoe, you got a grudge against Faraday or anything? No, sir, not me. Not a single bad thing against Mr. Faraday, sir. Is that a fact? You really have a problem with lying, don't you, Detective Gumshoe? I'm telling you, I am not lying. The more unnatural you act, the more suspicious you become, you know. If you want a motive, Edgeworth, I have one for you right here. Could you please share it with us? However, be forewarned that I won't hesitate to object to fights of fancy. Because all I'm interested in is the perfect explanation. You're serious, aren't you? Fine, you amuse me, so I'll humor you with a little courtroom practice. Gumshoe's motive. It was about a week ago. I saw the detective got chewed out by Livid Faraday in front of the precinct. He stood there, super pale, as Mr. Faraday yelled, "That's a salary cut for you, you nitwit." A brand new detective suddenly getting his salary cut. That's reason enough for a grudge. Well, how's that for the perfect explanation? You totally misunderstand me, pal. No matter how mad I get, I can never hold a grudge. Quiet. Can't trust anything you say. Sir. There's nothing wrong with the motive she proposed, per se. But there are some gaps in her logic that need to be filled in. Miss Yu's perfect explanation may not be so perfect at all. What? About a week ago, we got chewed out by Livid Faraday in front of the precinct. A week ago, then you and Detective Gumshoe are acquaintances. Oh my god. No way, I only met him in person today. Then how did you know about Detective Gumshoe? Oh, I've seen him around before. So the detective gets chewed out. Mr. Faraday was upset. Yeah, you know what else? Mr. Faraday isn't exactly known to get angry often. But there he was, totally beat red in the face. And the offending detective just stood there, pale as a ghost, like he was about to die. Just like the face he's making now, right? I'm completely innocent, I tell ya. The poor man. Oh my god. Her laughing face, though. It's quite the scene with the detective. You just stood there, watching this unfold in front of you. Yeah, I have to say it was really enjoyable, too. But that's why when I saw Detective Gumshoe earlier, I knew to steer clear of him. No way. I thought it was because I had something stuck on my face. But you do. Huh? What I got stuck on my face? Let's start with your eyes, nose, mouth. Oh, and those ridiculous eyebrows? Huh? Oh man, messing with your head is just too much fun. Miss Yu, if you don't mind, I'd like to return to your testimony now. He does have the meowy eyebrows. Sure, why not? A brand new detective suddenly getting his salary cut, that's reason enough for a grudge. To cut a new detective's salary right off the bat like that. I'm not really familiar with the way you guys relate, but is that a common practice? Speaking of cutting my salary, didn't you threaten to do that to me earlier too? I suppose I did. It's only natural to cut a worthless detective's salary down to their actual worth. My father can even fire anyone new or old with a snap of his fingers. Do you think maybe that's reason enough for detectives to hate you people? Well, I guess they really shouldn't cut people's pay. Detective Bad, don't tell me Mr. Von Karma cut your salary earlier. I'm not seeing anything we can, like, object to. You call your explanation perfect? Is it not to your liking? Unfortunately for you, it's just not up to my standards. Oh, is there something you want me to clarify in that case? What should I do? Should I raise an objection? I don't... I don't know. Motive to kill Mr. Faraday. However, there's just one thing I can't wrap my head around this explanation. This is... What the hell would I even present? Okay, I'm not seeing anything, and this is like the only thing that I can like progress the game on. There's like, I don't have evidence to like object to anything. Alright, if you could clear this one thing up for me. No. Oh. Yeah, because he doesn't have a motive for him. I understand Detective Gumshoe's potential motive for killing Mr. Faraday. However, what about his motive for killing Mr. Rel? His motive for killing Rel? Like I would know. If there was no clear motive for both of the murders, I doubt this incident would have occurred. Wouldn't you agree? Is there anyone else who might have had a grudge against either of the two men? Or should we look into that ourselves? Oh, in that case, I have absolutely no idea. What? But that's impossible. She must know something. Wait. Can you please not glare at me like that? It makes me laugh. Yeah, I didn't even do anything and you're already laughing away. Well, anyway, the way I see it, as long as he had a motive to kill one of the two, this crime would have played out the way it did anyway. Oh? Would you care to explain your logic? And this time, please try to provide a truly perfect explanation. Perfect this, perfect that. Something so uptight, or is that a requisite trait for being about karma? Miles Edgeworth, I demand that you shut this rude woman up. I wish you'd both be quiet for just 1 second. Oh well, I guess I'll just have to explain it to you kids. Motive to kill the men. There's no one out there with a motive to kill both. All you really have to establish is that someone had a grudge against one of the two men. Mr. Rel, who happened to be there, became a witness to Mr. Faraday's murder. Therefore, he was killed out of necessity and set up to look like they had killed each other. I wonder if that's really true. Is there no one out there with a grudge against both men? I should take another hard look at the evidence for this morning's case. Second KG8 incident, as people are calling it, involving an embassy staff member. The two men who both wound up as suspects in the case. Is there someone else I'm overlooking who is somehow related to them? Well, yeah, but the fact that... Why can't I look up profiles right now? I just want to read up about Rel. But this seems too obvious. So there's probably going to be a twist. It just seems too obvious that it's going to be her. So there is no one else who might have had a grudge against both Mr. Faraday and Mr. Rel. Alright, now I can look at profiles. was an embassy staff killing suspect. I suppose no one is a bit of a stretch, but I'm pretty sure no one like that was here in this courthouse today. She's lying through her teeth. I just saw someone like that here earlier. Besides, you'll need to prove that the killer had a grudge against both men. No, dang. And the music's... Oh my god. Miss Yu, I believe there's someone you overlooked in making your statement. Or rather, is it because you'd rather not bring this person up? What do you mean? We're looking for someone with a reason to kill both Mr. Faraday and Mr. Rel. I can think of at least one person that fits the bill. He? What? Why? No, but he was found not guilty. Why would he want revenge on the prosecutor? I mean, okay, wow, the prosecutor tried to put him in jail, but like... Why would you risk your freedom over to get revenge on a prosecutor? You're already free. Like, what the... What? Edgeworth, are you okay? Did you have a stroke? He was a suspect in the original KG8 incident. And a member of the Codopian embassy staff, Mr. Manny Cochin. That's right. The very man who came to visit you earlier out in the hallway. The man who killed a member of the Codopian embassy staff, Mr. Rel. And the man who was the lead prosecutor of the KG8 incident, Mr. Faraday. Are you telling me that Mr. Cochin has no reason at all to kill both of these men? Well, I suppose he might have a reason or two. You cover for me, pal. Maybe you're not such a bad guy after all. Don't get ahead of yourself. You're still a suspect, make no mistake about that. The perfect evidence, the perfect testimony. These are the only things I wish to hold. But I didn't do it. You will stay under my authority and go investigate Mr. Manny Cochin for me. And remember, I will not be very forgiving should any of this leak out. You want to investigate Cochin? You'd just be wasting your time. And why is that? Cochin was up in the viewing gallery, watching the trial. So I was told. Every cop in this place has been keeping an eye on the guy since he arrived. The only real suspect we have is still Detective Gumshoe. I suppose so. No way. Come on, Detective Bad, you gotta believe me, sir. Really was in that hallway the whole time, sir. Never took a single step into this room, sir. Okay then, are you saying there was someone else who passed through the hallway? No. There's no one else, sir. Why should I believe you didn't do it? That is one incredibly foolish detective. Standing right in front of a crime scene all by himself. It's as good as a confession of guilt. I have to admit, it's a bit strange. Most criminals will fabricate some sort of lie to escape their crimes. And if that detective really wanted to prove that he is innocent, you'd think he would, at the very least, offer up eyes spaced out while on duty or the like. Come on, Gumshoe, time for your interrogation. Detective Bat. Miles Edgeworth, I will go on ahead and report this to Papa. And that, as they say, is that. Right, everyone? Well, I suppose we should both be getting back to our real jobs now, huh? Before we do, Miss Yu, there is something I'd like to speak with you about. What is it? The laugh. to have set these two men up and make it look like they killed each other. If there's one thing I cannot forgive, it's the desecration of the dead. Oh, I wasn't talking to her. So, what do you want to ask me about? The current case of the murdered Codopian embassy staff member. I've heard that people have begun calling it the second KG-8 incident. Well, among you law enforcement types. And what about it? I'd like for you to tell me everything you know about the original KG-8 incident. I'm afraid I can't help you. I don't know anything beyond what was reported in the papers. No, I believe you know much more, since you are directly tied to the KG-8 incident. Okay, so why are you bringing this up now and not previously when yo stupid ass brought up coaching but not her? Edgeworth, you... Okay. I'd appreciate it if you stopped with the false accusations. Accusations! False accusations! Baseless outbursts are useless both inside and outside the courtroom, don't you know? I do. But also know that I do have a leg to stand on here. Think you can stop making that ultra-serious face in front of me? If you could please stop laughing for just 1 second. I'm not going to make any headway like this. I'm just going to have to show her exactly how related to the KG-8 incident she is. Miss Yu, I believe that I have proof of your connection to the KG-8 incident. That follows your proof. Very well then. Why don't you tell me exactly how I'm related to the KG-8 incident? Through the victim. Your connection to the KG-8 incident is through the victim. The victim's name is CCU. You will note that she has the same last name as you. Can you really still tell me with a straight face that you are not related to this case? Oh my god. Sorry, but we're not related. Is that a common last name? Well, just kidding. Oh my god. You asked that question with such a serious look on your face. But I couldn't help but... It's you. I ask that you please tell me the truth. Alright, I'll tell you everything I know. Why did Mr. Cochin want to meet with you earlier? Actually, he came to watch the trial. Apparently he only found out that I was the defense lawyer on this case after he'd arrived. He figured he should say hi, and one other thing. Looks like you couldn't resolve anything this time either. Too bad. What's that supposed to mean? Oh boy, stop with the scary face already. I'm fine, really. I gave him a good slap across the face. When she talks about slapping him as she laughs away is kind of creepy. But it's just as Mr. Bad said. He's not related to the double murder. I asked around and people in the gallery claimed that he was in his seat the entire time. Talk about cruel fate. As you guessed, the one who reported the smuggling activities of the Amano group was my sister, CCU. As I thought. And she was killed right before she was to testify at the impending trial by Manny Cochin. But because he was tried once and was acquitted, he gets to live out the rest of his cushy life completely carefree. All because of a lack of evidence. No, I heard that the evidence to convict him did exist. What? I heard it from Mr. Faraday himself about after Mr. Cochin's trial was over. Apparently a man in black made off with the most important piece of evidence. Then the evidence had been tampered with. Isn't it just like a criminal to do something like that? The smuggling ring being run out of the Amano group by one of its secretaries. They bailed Mr. Cochin out. Turns out they were in league with each other all along. How big was that smuggling ring? Was it a large operation? I don't really know. Which is why I wanted to become the lead defense. In this case that people are calling the second KG-8 incident. I haven't learned anything new at all. I was probably expecting too much, I know. I mean, you think this case has nothing to do with the smuggling ring? I don't know what to think. Well, that's about all I know. Sorry. Guess I wasn't much help, huh? It's not true. I'm sorry I made you recall such a painful time in your life. Edgeworth, you really are too serious for your own good. You really need to learn to relax. We wouldn't want you to die of stress, would we? Thank you for the advice. There's no need to worry. I work in my own way, and I will catch this criminal in my own way as well. You will see. Look at you with your game face, son. Ready to go. I'm making no such face. Did you know? Laughter is the best medicine, Edgeworth. Don't you get tired of making such a serious face all the time? I'm charged with making sure that all the criminals of this world are found guilty. I have no need for laughter. There you go, making that face again. Oh well. I've got to get going. I still have a few loose ends I need to tie up. The KG-8 incident and this murder investigation. It is my belief that these two cases are related to each other somehow. Plus that detective, Detective Gumshoe. It's obvious he's lying even though the lie is hurting his chances. Clearly this case is far from over. But whether or not that detective is the murderer can only be determined once I've completed my perfect investigation. Mr. Von Karma, I swear to uphold your honorable name, or my name isn't Miles Edgeworth. Yeah, something's fishy here because that's her sister. Whoever was responsible for killing her sister was never brought to, like, justice. Something's up here. We'll figure it out next time. Thank you all for watching. Have a great day. See you all next time for some more Let's Play Ace Attorney Investigation. Miles Edgeworth. Goodbye.